Hi Punit, good morning. It's nice to have you here for a chat. Punit, you are a PST, a professional Scrum trainer at Scrum.org, and you train many people in the foundations of Scrum and in Scrum Mastery and product ownership. What value do you see in Scrum Masters and product owners attending a PSD class?
Okay. For me, I believe it would be great to have Scrum Masters and product owners in this workshop, because what we are dealing with in real life right now is most of the time we have distributed teams, and I noticed that product owners are usually far away from the actual development team, and this is an opportunity for them to get together for 3 days with the team and see what are the kind of problems, challenges you face. And now product owners, Scrum Masters, and even the development team, they get to see firsthand how things get misinterpreted. The collaboration becomes a little diluted at times, and I would say yes, definitely it would be a great value for everyone to attend, Scrum Master, product owner, as well as definitely the development team. Mm-hmm. And the other, from Scrum Master perspective, I would add that they are most of the time pretty hands-off when it comes to coaching the development team. This gives them a lot of ideas about what are the coaching areas you may want in terms of the complementary practices to suggest the development team, so that they are like, maybe this is something we want to try. So definitely it's also a great value for Scrum Masters as well. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it.
Great. You mentioned the challenges that Scrum teams face in the day-to-day work, and you also talked about the complementary practices. Where do you see the opportunity for growth in teams?
Okay, so in most of the areas where I work, the biggest gap I see is people tend to get the product shipped as soon as possible, and they miss out on some of the basic concepts like, refactoring the code, or hey, let's look at the quality, let's make sure that we build the quality in the hurry to rush. A lot of time these are the areas where people cut corners, and this workshop really gives a lot of ideas, like when we say we are done with an increment, what exactly do we mean by that? For me it's a very important concept, that when you have a shippable product, let's make sure it meets our definition of done. And people tend to most likely dilute that aspect, and this gives the opportunity for the people who participate in this workshop, like, oh yeah, I see a lot of gap in when I work. Oh, here are some of the learnings I have to take back. Hey, let's start doing TDD, let's start working towards ATDD. Whatever, these practices really help people. Something which is not covered in any of the other workshops from Scrum.org. This is where I would say rubber meets the road. Mm-hmm. So definitely a highly recommended workshop for people.
Great, thanks. You are not here as a trainer today. You are here as a student, which is awkward, I think. What were your expectations when you registered or came to the class?
So when I registered for this workshop, my intention was more to learn as a Scrum Master, how can I support my development team? A lot of times I'm pretty blindfolded to what's happening at the ground level because I'm not hands-on right now. So this is an opportunity for me to pick up all these learning, the complementary practices, and also the case study we have connects me to the real life challenges, and it's helped me, like when I go back at work, what would be the next steps I would likely work upon to help the team become better at what they are doing. Mm-hmm. And that is delivering a high quality software, mm-hmm. a product that the clients really are looking forward to. And with a few more sprints, hopefully it turns the ship around, and I see a lot more collaboration and better understanding between the stakeholders, product owner, and the development team, like what's going on, and everyone's aware and more happier working environment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You already mentioned the case study and our sprints. How realistic do you think this case study is?
Oh, very real. Very real. It's like, I'll be honest, I have been working in the industry for more than 19 years. There are seldom any greenfield or projects that are starting from scratch. And the project that we have are usually like, hey, here are some legacy applications or existing applications, and you want to build features or redo in new fashion, things like that. And this case study that we have is pretty much like at ground level, the reality in every organization. So it really ties back to work, and it makes me feel like, some of the moments where I see like, oh, this is exactly what the team says back at work. So yes, I am able to relate to everything that's happening over here back at work. Mm-hmm. So I love it. That's the beauty of this workshop. It's not pretty fabricated. It's very much on the ground reality of day-to-day work.
Let's come to a different topic. There is one thing that at least we PSD trainers working with development teams mainly that bothers us a lot, is that the number of students in PSD is significantly lower compared to the PSM and the PSPO classes where we train the product owners and the Scrum Masters. What do you think are the reasons for this?
I believe there is a very I would say misconception that people have that PSD is only for actual hands-on programmers, and it might not do that much justice. As long as we know Scrum, we will be fine. This workshop is uncovering a lot of things that people miss out on. Scrum can only help you to a certain degree of agility. It's the engineering practices, the tools, the processes that you follow that people really are not aware of, and this takes it to the next level. Right now, I believe a lot of misconceptions that even I had before attending this workshop are clear, and I honestly believe this workshop is an absolute must for people who are starting to implement Scrum or even continuing right now to do a quick retrospective in 3 days, like, you know what, where are the gaps that we need to bridge in so that now slowly we move towards, continuous delivery if possible. Mm-hmm. And I understand that it's something that people are not aware of. And as a trainer, I would take it upon myself. When I go back to work, I would socialize this to the teams and say, hey, you want to try it out? Maybe we start with a small group of people in one team. And when people start understanding like, wow, this is quite a good value add, I believe we'll have a lot more people joining slowly over time. Maybe the title is misleading. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. But as a trainer, I believe this is something a development team definitely wants to attend. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of getting them to understand what to expect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
And you're already on a path where my next question leads to. It is the audience of this training. You mentioned the name, Professional Scrum Developer. And when we talk about developers, most people think programmers. Who do you think is the audience that should attend this class?
For me, anyone and everyone who are accountable all the way from getting the requirements till putting things into production and even supporting it. I believe we need everyone. So pretty much it cuts across the entire IT organization, and everyone should be there because there are so many aspects of the 3-day workshop that touches upon everyone's life in the IT organization. So for me, everyone, it's not just the developers. Whatever your expertise is, as long as you are part of development team, which means all the way from understanding the requirements till supporting it into production box, I believe everyone would be benefited by this workshop. Mm-hmm.
So now you saw most of the training. What do you think is the biggest difference between the Professional Scrum Developer training and other trainings you have attended?
So before I joined this workshop, I always had that confusion. What's the difference between PSF, which is a workshop that I run, and what's the difference between that and PSD? And I believe Professional Scrum Foundations basically paves way for the foundation. Professional Scrum Developer is building on top of it, taking your understanding to the next level in terms of what an awesome development team must be doing, or not, I won't call it must be doing, but what they can do to make to help the organization, help the team become more and more agile. So this one, initially I was having a little reserve, like why do we need a 3-day workshop? 2 days would be good enough. But now that I have attended it, I believe 3 days is pretty good. It's something which is needed because you have like 4 sprints in span of 3 days, which gives you a lot of hands-on experience. And I would say this goes to the next level of understanding of Scrum and the complementary practices, which Professional Scrum Foundation stops at mostly just the foundations of Scrum, understanding the elements of Scrum and the rules around it. It doesn't go beyond that. This one takes a lot deeper.
Cool. So what did you like most about the training?
What I like the most is the experience of seeing how this ties back to work. Right now, I cannot stress enough, this workshop has given me a lot of aha moment, like, this is something I face day-to-day life. This is what's going on. What can we do? And there is a lot of unlearning from my side as well, and learning as well, like, something like this, why haven't I thought about it? And it's only there are some moments like, why didn't I think of it before? It's just, yes, as a Scrum Master, I understood this, that I have to be a lifelong student and keep learning these, the complementary practices, keep learning what ways we can keep ourselves sharp and also help the teams. So I really love those because pretty much I would say every hour there's some aha moment that I have, like, wow, this is something I didn't think about before. Mm-hmm. So I really love that. It gives me a lot of ammunition that I can take back at my work and say, hey guys, let's try something different this time. And definitely I'm sure the team will start enjoying it. Mm-hmm. So that's my goal. I love it.
Yeah. And now I have the most difficult question for you. The most difficult questions for all people who are professional speakers. Can you describe the value of the Professional Scrum Developer Training in just one sentence?
In one sentence, I would say, as a development team, don't miss this opportunity, because this is where you get pretty much hands-on experience. If you are implementing Scrum, or if you are trying to implement agile ways of working in your organization, this is the training which gives you a lot of ideas which you may not have even thought of on trying new things out and helping you. I know it's a long sentence.
But it was one sentence.
Yes, a lot of ands in that, but I managed.
Yeah. Punit, thank you very much.
Thank you.